Hi Komal, we've already spoken for maybe 15 minutes right now, but let's leave the introductions for the rest of the video. Just tell me, what are you doing these days and how is it going? How is Mumbai treating you?
Firstly, Anushka, I want to really thank you for putting me a space and giving me a space over here on your channel. And what I want to say is that obviously Mumbai heat is getting on my nerves. Thankfully I could go back to my hometown, chill a bit over there and then come back, but I am really enjoying Mumbai rains. It is my first time experiencing Mumbai rains over here, and it's really nice to just sip coffee, sit on your balcony and grab a book and read. I mean, that gives a very nice cozy vibe to it.
I'm waiting for that weather, you know, rain, book, coffee, but that's not happening anytime soon, at least in Agra, in my hometown, the place where I am staying. I mean, Mumbai, you're still, itni heat nahi hogi yaar wahan pe. It would be, what's the temperature, in 30s? 35, 40? Not more than that.
It would be around 30s, but the thing is, there's a lot of humidity. Yeah, so you're just sweating. Like, you straighten your hair, go out, get ready, and then
and then it gets frizzy.
Yeah,
I hate that. I hate that.
You don't even get one picture. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, I mean, okay. But since you told me you have a different hometown, yeah, right?
Yeah.
So you're studying in Mumbai at the moment.
I am studying in Mumbai.
Where are you from?
I am from a place in Karnataka, so it's called Gulbarga. It's a northern part of Karnataka. I did my schooling over there, but then again for engineering I went on to Mysore, and then I'm over here for my post. Yeah, Mysore. It's a very beautiful
city. Been a great experience.
And then over here for my post graduation.
Okay. So how long has it been for you to staying in Mumbai?
It's just been 6 months, I guess. Yeah, just 6 months. Yeah.
6 months. Okay. And now the most important question: how did reading start for you?
Okay, so reading, basically I have like two kinds of journey with that. The first one was, I still remember, I think it was my 12th birthday. My sister, she gave me William Shakespeare short stories book on my birthday. And that was the first book that I got, and I just kept on reading like King Lear,
William Shakespeare as a child.
Yeah, as a 12-year-old child, you can imagine. I read Julius Caesar, Romeo Juliet. I just kept on reading constantly, and that was there.
And you were enjoying that?
Yeah, I really enjoyed reading that. But the thing is, the language was much simpler. It was for kids. The stories were like written for the kids, so the language was simpler, and the stories
version.
Yeah, the translated version, not the real one. Yeah.
Which is why I was so, you know, shocked. I was like, huh? I mean, in 10th, I read Julius Caesar for course, and I didn't get even a single, you know, I had to learn, go through all the translations and then write the answers.
Yeah. So I did this before my course, and I really enjoyed the process of reading, and then I was constantly journaling as well. And what I think is that reading and writing goes hand in hand. If you are into reading, you generally tend to go into writing as well. And then in my engineering days, what I realized was that I was using my phone a lot. The screen time was a lot, and then I wanted to do something that would reduce my screen time. Obviously I can't do anything that's that I can do on my laptop or my phone. So then I started this challenge of reading 12 books a year. And I think that was in my first year of engineering that I started. So I read 12 books, and then next year I gradually moved it to like 52 books a year, and that is how I kept on reading. And it's been a journey. Obviously now I am in a big reading slump because of all the college schedule is a bit hectic, but reading is very close to my heart.
Okay, so the way you actually started was you set your mind to it, right?
Yeah.
You started with the target of reading 12 books. It wasn't like, yeah, I enjoy reading. You did actually enjoy reading, but you had to set your mind to it. So, I mean, it was a process, right?
Yeah.
It was a habit that you built.
Yeah.
It's like people these days, they just, you know, you also know, they want to read. They say we don't have time, but you have to set targets.
Yeah.
What do you, I mean, Do you agree with that? You agree with that point now? What you would like to, the tips that you would like to share in this way?
So once, if you are actually building up a habit, it's not just about reading. With any habit, one thing is you have to be consistent about it, and you have to set up a routine for that. If you don't fit in that habit in your routine, then automatically you will tend to lose it out. Like reading, for me, I started it as I would grab my morning coffee and read a book. Then while going to bed, I would again read for like half an hour and then sleep. So that was a routine. So if it is with anything, like journaling for that matter, you just set up a time, and if you associate your schedule with that habit, it becomes much easier. Like it is inbuilt in your schedule, so you don't tend to miss that out. And if you enjoy if you enjoy it, I mean, you don't have to do it forcefully, it just comes out naturally.
And how did Bookstagram start for you?
Bookstagram, yeah, that's an interesting question. It started in 2019. I started my Bookstagram in July 2019, and Bookstagram for me was this safe space where I could just rant about books, talk about books over and over again. I didn't mind anyone there telling me, okay, your opinion about this book is wrong or that book is wrong, because everyone is so welcoming, they are so acknowledging.
True.
You can be open about your opinions over there. And when I started, I just started out essay, and that time I didn't know people, like there was a community like this dedicated just for reading. I mean, I knew there were booktubers and everything, but Bookstagram was a very new thing. So I thought, okay, I'll just randomly start. I posted consistently for like 45 days, review per review, and for like 45 days straight, and I didn't tell anyone.
So the day you started, from the day you posted for 45 days continuously? 45
days continuously. I mean, I was very consistent with it. What I had in my mind is that if I lose track, if I lose one day, I will lose my interest in this, because I keep on trying different things, and if I don't be consistent at it, like if I don't push myself to do that, I will lose interest, and again I'll start something else. So what I did was I started it, and I think it was after 100 followers that I told my friends ki, okay, this is my account, if you are into reading only only then you follow
telling
me.
Your friends and family.
They're like, how, why, what is Bookstagram, why are you putting out reviews on that? I mean, Goodreads is already there, and there are like other platforms as well, but what I wanted was, even if suppose there is a friend of mine and he or she is not into reading, I didn't want that person to forcefully follow me just because he or she is my friend. I just wanted them to relate, because I wanted them to be a reader. Only then they will like acknowledge my work, right? I mean, supporting is fine, but I want to support in a real sense.
Yes, that's the same thing with me. I never force my friends or never share my posts or videos with my friends just for the sake to get a like or a share, or just so that they can share it with their friends in their groups. I feel like my work should speak for itself. If a person is on my profile or if they like my content, it's because they genuinely like it and they genuinely want to follow it. Otherwise, there are, I really don't feel the need to get the numbers.
Exactly.
I say this every time on YouTube and on Instagram. I don't want numbers. I want a community, which cares, where everyone cares about each other and everyone has a genuine motive.
Right.
Achha, what's your favorite part about a book? Be it I'll give you an example. The quotes, or just the those long paragraphs, or maybe one of those interaction. When people are having two characters are having a conversation. The dialogue version, or the quotes, or lengthy paragraphs about setting or the world. What do you like?
This is very tricky question because I enjoy most of it, but I would generally go for quotes, because if there is a quote and if I remember that quote really well, because I don't really remember quotes well, if I remember it, it's a really big deal that the book has made an effect in my life. because I
That's
generally
true.
there are like so
I
many
agree.
books that we read, and you generally don't remember all the quotes, right? But there are few quotes
Yeah.
that will like it will be like, huh, this is
Just
it,
stay with
yeah.
you, you know.
And so I
Yeah.
think quotes
Yeah.
is really
There
nice,
are.
and I think
And there are very few of them. There are many quotes while you're reading a book. You do, you know, resonate with a lot of quotes at times. But then there are very few books and there are very few quotes out of them which just stay with you. And that's
it stays forever.
just a minute. Just sorry.
No,
I'm
no
so sorry.
problem.
So sorry. Huh?
Yeah, so what I feel is that these quotes, there are few quotes that goes on like on Goodreads, and there are quotes that most of the people resonate with, but there are few lines, I won't say that as quotes, but the lines that resonate with you, and I just keep underlining that, and I'm like, oh my god, how did the author even think about this line?
Yeah. And this is so me. This is what I think.
Like I just ponder over it again and again. I mean, this line is worthy of a quote, but it didn't become a quote. So I think these short lines and these quotes, I mean, these are the things that I live for. Like I look for in the books.
So which is your favorite genre? Fiction or non-fiction?
Fiction. Yeah.
Fiction. I just had to ask it just for, you know, formality. But I mean, why is there so much hype for non-fiction? And whenever there is a newbie, or even my friends, whenever I recommend them fiction, they're like, oh, no, we want self-improvement books. Please recommend us a good book now. I'm telling you, this fiction is a great book. Yeah, you'll get influence from it. This is one of those inspirational motivation books. Please read it. But like, no, I don't want to read a story book. Please recommend me a good motivational self-help, self-improvement book. And I'm like, but this is exactly the same thing. And they're like, no. We want to read what others are reading, or which has the best rating on Amazon or a bestseller. Does that happen with you?
I think it is because of the hustle culture that everyone wants to get ahead in their life, and when you are doing that, you don't have time to read about Harry Potter is like carrying a wand or something. They just want to like quickly read. They just want to quickly glance through the books, and they want to read self-improvement. They want to read books in like snippets. It's just like, okay, exercise 1, exercise 2, atomic habits, okay, you have to do this tip number 1, tip number 2. And I think reading is more of a journey rather than, you know, just reading it like a summary. You just, even if it is non-fiction, you just have to go it from the cover to cover. Take your own time and read it. And sometimes there are books where you don't feel like reading, and it's really okay to like even DNF it and go on, because there are like millions of books and you don't have to like waste your time over one particular book.
Seriously.
You can like get back to it when you feel like. And about non-fiction, I think I just went on to like some other thing, but
no.
What I feel about non-fiction is I have a few friends who have talked to me about this as well, and they are like, I really get little time of my work when I want to read, and if I'm getting that time, I would rather want to increase my knowledge about, say, some particular subjects, if they are into history or if they are into like finance, self-improvement. So they would want to increase the knowledge about this rather than just go and read fiction where there is, you know, there is more importance for the literature rather than the facts and figures and all the statistics. So I think it's basically the mindset of the people and how they would want to read it. I mean, both ways it's really okay. I mean, if you don't have time, you can obviously go to non-fiction, but that is why audiobooks are there, so you can just plug it in. And I think it's great for fiction readers. Like, there is a story going on in your ear, and if you don't have much time, just read it while you're like driving, eating, exercising, or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, that rationale is fine, okay, but I don't like people when they, you know, degenerate or you know, degrade fiction. You know that non-fiction is better than fiction. That if you're reading fiction, you're not reading anything worthy reading. This is what I don't like, the mindset that people have regarding non-fiction and fiction. It's fine if you don't have time, and if you know what you're doing, it's great. But don't, degrade or demotivate other people who are reading fiction.
I mean that comes with authors as well. Like if you see someone reading Chetan Bhagat books, then you are like, oh my god, you are reading his books. I mean, it's totally that person's choice. If they enjoy his books, do read it. I mean, read most of his books. And what I would say is, just don't like say that, oh my god, why are you reading his books? I mean, he's also an author. I mean, if someone enjoys their writing, it's fine. I mean, not everyone will enjoy like big authors or like trending authors. So it's,
I mean, I have been guilty of judging other people's reads. That's just normal. But as a person, I've grown now, and I don't do that. And you grow as a reader. But I've seen people who don't grow, who still judge, and I'm like, chalo, it's okay. But okay, coming back to books, would you prefer a book when you go to a bookstore? Let's say.
I know the question.
And, you find
but please go on.
Okay, you find the blurb of a book interesting, but the cover is not that great. But the other book has a better cover, but you're not so intrigued by its blurb. Which one would you pick up?
I think it would be both the cases depending on my mood. Because
that's a smart answer.
Because I really love reading blurbs. Even in my YouTube videos, I just sit and read the blurb of my book, because I think the author has found a way to put the story in that concise part. So I mean, you don't have to miss that out here.
And that's
really tricky. You can't put 200, 400 pages into like just mere 5 sentences. I mean, you have to catch a sense of each and every part of it without giving much. So I really love to read blurbs, but cover sometimes, so I'll be like, okay fine, I can manage with this cover. It's not that ugly. I mean, it deserves a spot in my bookshelf. But then there are few books that I've like bought it for the cover itself. I mean, I'm guilty of that. Obviously, I want my bookshelf to look beautiful.
We all are. Acha, do you give importance to physical books or e-books?
Physical, like that's the priority. I mean, I want a big library of my own to just sit there and read. But given the circumstance, I mean, I'm always on the move, so I can't carry more books. So I'm usually like reading on my Kindle or audiobooks. So that is more feasible. But when it comes to like owning a library, obviously I would go for physical books.
Yeah. Same. I mean, yes, of course, ebooks are feasible, but when my simple trick is, I'll start with an ebook if I don't have a physical copy, and if I really enjoy it, I would definitely get a physical copy and have it in my bookshelf, because I really feel like I want to. Initially, I did not have this thought in my mind. I just wanted to collect books and just have build a library. But over time, I've grown, and I feel like my setup, my bookshelf should reflect my taste somewhere. And I felt embarrassed about this. That sometimes my friends come to my place or my relatives, and they ask me that, they see my bookshelf and they ask me, hey, have you read this book? How is this? And there are times that I haven't read that book, and that comes across as embarrassing. Like, I haven't read that book. So
exactly, like more than 50% is just
I only want to keep the books which I've read. What's your take on Booktube?
Booktube.
Booktube and Bookstagram. What's the major difference you feel?
Obviously, I have this thought in my mind, and I think that was because I started Booktube, and that is one realization that I got was on Bookstagram. You will have to read through the post. Obviously, the picture will be very aesthetic, and then people don't tend to read the review about it. They're just like, okay, nice pic and everything, lovely feed and all that. But what I'm actually doing is that I am putting out review, but it's not reaching many people. And when you see Bookstagram and Booktube, when you're putting out a review on Bookstagram, it mainly reaches other Bookstagrammers. So the recommendation is really circulating in the community itself, but not the non-readers. But I would definitely want non-readers to pick that book up and read that. I mean, obviously the Bookstagrammers will be aware about that book. They have read like multiple reviews by different people. But that's not the case in Booktube. That the percentage of non-readers it reaches is really high. And people would generally tend to watch a 5-minute video rather than spending 5 minutes reading about the review. So when Reels came into picture, I realized that okay, video has a lot of power. I mean, video marketing is really a big space, and I just wanted to just branch out and see. I mean, I'm really like, I really love to like try my hands on different things. I'm like, okay, fine, Booktube is one thing, let's just give it a try, just like Bookstagram. So there was this one day, I think evening, I was going on a trip, and afternoon I was like, okay, let's just do this Booktube newbie tag that everyone does, like at the starting where they just do this, introduce themselves. So for that 5-minute video, I took almost like 1 hour or almost 1.5 hours to actually shoot on my phone.
That's quite less.
And to edit.
Ask me how long it takes for me to shoot one video. It's tiring. It doesn't seem like on camera. When people see my video, they're like, "Oh, you're so fluent and you do it so easily." They don't know the background, the work that I do.
The struggles
behind the camera. It's a struggle, trust me, guys.
Exactly. I mean, it takes a lot of takes. I mean, I didn't realize that until I started making videos. I would be like, oh, they could have done this video in a better way. Like as a viewer, I would have said that. But now that I see, like I think my perspective about video has also changed after starting Booktube. Is that I'm seeing more of the kind of angles they are taking, the camera angles, how they're talking in this video, when it is a vlog, how they interact with people. I mean, it's not just for entertainment, but you're also gaining something. I mean, you will see that and put that in your own video. So I think that is actually a process, and you'll have to like gradually master it.
So you started Booktube after Bookstagram, right?
Yeah, after Bookstagram. It's been 1 year that I started Booktube.
Okay. So, tricky question, but which one would you choose? Bookstagram or Booktube? Which one do you enjoy more? Let's just say it this way.
I think I enjoy Booktube a lot.
Booktube, huh? Me too.
Because there's a lot of parts in it. Bookstagram, I mean, back-end work of all reading and everything will be same for Bookstagram and Booktube as well. Bookstagram is just picture, and then you are writing about it, and obviously engagement and all that. But Booktube has a lot of different things. You are scripting. First you are thinking what kind of video you want to make.
And how do you engage people? Because you can't just post, you can't just post one video. You can't just post, share your review. You'll have to think it in a way. You'll have to make it in a way that people can relate to it and also engage with it. That's the tricky part. People don't understand. They're like, oh, they're just reviewing your book. No, there's a lot of thought process that goes behind into just making one video or making a review on it.
Yeah. Like you are thinking what kind of people would actually enjoy reading this book. Who wouldn't pick up this book, or like all the trigger warning. You have to keep a lot of that in your mind and then make a video for like book review. And if it is like book recommendation, you have to see what your audience actually wants. Like if there are a lot of teenagers, then you would want to make a video on like teenage book recommendation.
I have someone with whom I can discuss this thing, have a conversation on this thing. Because I mean, I don't get people to discuss things on YouTube. I would say it's not Instagram or Bookstagram for me. For me, it's more of video content, because initially I started with Booktube because I have been confident about my video making skill, because I had another channel. So I started with Booktube. I wasn't interested in Instagram. Just past 2-3 months as well, I was not interested in Bookstagram, because I knew there are many people who do aesthetically pleasing Instagram. They have much more skill to take a good picture, write better than me. So why not market myself, or why not put out myself in a way that I am more confident about, which is my video making skill or speaking skills. So,
exactly.
And I enjoy doing that. I enjoy speaking and I enjoy interacting with people. So that's when I started making reels, and I enjoy making reels, honestly. And if it distincts me from other people, even better. So that's my take.
I've seen a lot of your like YouTube shorts. I mean, it's really nice the way you put it in.
I'm just confident about it. I'm just doing the things I am confident about, because I know there are people who are better than me, people who have read much more than me. They are much knowledgeable than me. They know more about books than me. I haven't. I really don't consider myself as a book reviewer. I have made a video on that. I don't consider myself a book reviewer. I'm just a reader who recommends books. The ones that work for me. So I don't know much about books, about publishing or all that stuff. What I know is that I can connect with people. I can people can relate with me, and that's what I'm. Maybe. What's that word? Taking the risk on. I'm just making reels which are relatable and which I feel like people can connect, and that's working for me. So I'm just doing that.
And I think that is authentic to yourself. This is your work. This is your piece of work, and you like if someone sees and they can see, oh my God, this is Anushka's reels, because they can relate to it, and they have seen that there is a pattern in your videos or in your reels. So I think that connection is really important with the audience.
Yeah, I feel that. Okay. Who are your favorite booktubers? Internationally, okay? Internationally, let's say internationally first.
There's one sitting right in front of me.
I knew that. I just corrected myself. International booktubers, let's name it.
Internationally, I would say I don't follow many booktubers. One, because the choice of books, I mean, they are mostly into romance or the chick lit fiction. So I'm not really into that. So I tend to not watch such videos. But I really love Jack Edwards. I mean, because the books he reads and also the content he makes, I'm really huge fan of his work.
His style is creative. His style is,
his style is big.
He was inventive. That's what is, distinct.
The celebrity recommendation that he makes, I think that is true to his own channel. So that is, I really love his content. And then there are other, I think there was this one from Jay, I don't remember his name. I used to follow. Just
the funny guy.
So
with the different voice.
So I used to follow him almost 2 or 3 years ago. That I was really hooked to Booktube. When I started Bookstagram, I was hooked to Booktube, and I was watching a lot of international as well as Indian booktubers. I think my space to Booktube was opened by Helly. I really love her channel. I mean, all of us have watched her videos, and we have grown.
She was the one who started. Yes, of course, there's Indian booktuber as well. She was
Indian
also
booktuber as well.
But for me, Helly was the one, because she's our age. Her books recommendations were relatable, and I mean, she was there.
I've read most of her recommendations. I think
me too.
My taste has literally changed to what she would read, all the Haruki Murakami's book and other books.
Same.
And then there's Soumya's book station. I really enjoy watching her videos as well.
I used to watch this more recognition. I mean, she's been doing YouTube since a long while.
Very long time,
and she deserves more recognition. I really feel this.
And when I started Booktube, obviously you and Shrishti, I mean, you guys have been my inspiration for starting Booktube. Also Shruti from Fandom UV. I mean, I really love her channel as well.
I'm planning to do a podcast with her as well. Let's see when we do that.
Amazing.
So I'm planning to make this in a series. Let's see if I stay consistent or not, because I do lag there. I mean, if I were consistent, I don't know where I would be at this moment, because I crossed 10K in October last year on my birthday. that was extremely fast growth for me. Initially I grew faster, I know, but then I felt that I fell into imposter syndrome, you know, where I felt like, oh, I'm not good enough, and why am I getting so much of exposure? There are better people than me. But soon I realized that, you know, there will always be people who will be better than me. There will always be people who will read more than me, or who will be more knowledgeable than me. But there will always be something that would distinct me from other people. Or maybe if people are following me, they are not blind. They're doing it for their own reason. And my subscribers only message me, we don't follow you for your book recommendations specifically, we follow you for you. And that touched me. I was like, okay, that's good. Good to hear. So I mean,
I wouldn't do that as a viewer. I mean, I've never hit up to a channel and commented, but the comments that we get, it's like so overwhelming that people actually care about your work.
Exactly. I don't usually comment on channels. I mean, like, it's so tiring.
Exactly.
I don't even like videos sometimes. Even if I've been following that person for since maybe a year or two, I would just watch that video, enjoy it, maybe hit a like, but never comment, because I'm like, why should I comment? I mean,
it's too much effort.
Too much effort plus exposure. Why expose myself to that? What if that person sees sometimes I do feel shy. Oh, what if my favorite creator sees my comment? What would they think about me? I don't know if anyone would
should make a video on that.
No, I do feel this way, which is why I don't comment a lot on you know, on my favorite channels, but I have grown on YouTube, literally. I've been a YouTube fan since like 7th or 8th grade, when people watch television.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that's
really young.
Yeah, there weren't any Indian leave YouTubers as a word. YouTuber has been the word in like 2 or 3 years. But Indian YouTubers weren't even there when I started you know, watching YouTube. There was this only Shruti Arjun Anand, if you know her. Shruti Arjun Anand, she's into beauty. Now she has millions and trillions of subscribers and many other channels. Also there's Shreya Jain. She has been one of my inspirations. So these were the only 2 creators from India back then when I started watching YouTube.
Oh my
there
God.
weren't any Indian YouTubers. And I used to enjoy watching. Yeah. So YouTube is in my veins, literally. I can't leave YouTube. I literally enjoy it. So just tell us about your childhood, your family, school life, a bit.
So the way you see me over here is like completely different, because as a kid I was really silent, very shy. I was just minding my own business. I mean, I would go to school, finish all that academic work and everything, and I was not really studious, but somehow I would get lucky and I would end up getting good scores. I mean, I would just read at the last minute.
You were a nerd.
No, no, but the thing is, nerd means they read consistently, right? I wouldn't read. I would just like grab my book during like the exam hours, read for like whatever 2-3 hours, and I would like ace that exam, and that happened.
So
and
you were
I think
smart now. You were smart.
I wouldn't call myself smart, being modest here, but yeah, that happened 10th till 10th grade, and obviously like the mainstream is science, and I was into science as well, 11th and 12th grade, and then I realized I don't want to go into medicine field, because my sister, she's a doctor, and I've seen her studying like for more than like 18 hours a day, and I didn't want to do that. I mean, I just wanted to study for that 4 years of engineering and just get past that. So it's like, okay, let's do engineering. And when I went into engineering, and especially after Bookstagram, I realized that I am good at marketing. Like when I started Bookstagram, people would actually hit me up and tell like, you really have that marketing skills, and people who were marketer would tell me that. So then it got me thinking, and I wasn't really good at coding as well. So okay, I did some internship, and then I realized, and this was during the lockdown period, and also like this self-discovery that okay, I have to do something, and that is something apart from engineering. So then I like started studying for CAT and everything, and got enrolled in MBA. But apart from all this, I really like want to do things that is like true to myself. Like obviously there are like different hobbies that I indulge in, reading for one thing, and I started writing as well, and I during lockdown I co-authored few books. So during that time I could interview people like this itself, like few other co-authors, and talking about their journey and everything, and this was after Booktube, and it felt really nice because I did not come out of that shell. I did not like interact with people. I mean, I would really get scared like seeing people or like meeting new people. I would be like in my own corner, like very uncomfortable. But then after a few interactions, I would be really fine. So I thought, okay, this is one way of like breaking that barrier, coming out of my comfort zone and putting myself out there. So Booktube was one way I could do that, because I don't generally speak this much.
Okay.
One thing
So this might be tiring for you.
No, this might come as a shock, but I don't really talk this much, and when I'm actually making a video, I have to like put like masala and talk. Like I can't like straight away tell things, right? So that was one thing that that I learned, and I was like starting into like public speaking and all that. So I also run my own podcast channel as well. With two others, so that is one thing that I'm doing.
Is that so?
Yeah.
Okay, you'll have to share me the link after this conversation.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, like I have like I don't really sit in one place. I have my hands over like a lot of things, so I just really like to keep myself busy, and I'm this huge productivity junkie. Like even if I'm sick, I want to be productive sick. I just don't want to be lying.
What's being productive sick? How do you do that?
Like either like when I'm like just sleeping or lying down, I'll be like, I'll put on some LinkedIn courses and keep on doing that, or like put on audiobooks, or like watch YouTube that can help me to like put in my own channel, or some YouTubers like Dhruv Rathi or any of those. So I just keep watching that, like even if I'm like lying down.
Yeah, I mean
enjoying.
It's just this feeling these days, if you're not listening to, or maybe if you're just lying, you know, leisurely, if you just feel guilty at times.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
You're wasting time. I thought it was just Acha, let's do some recommendations.
Sure.
Podcast, music, movies and books.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, let's start with a few podcasts. First podcast.
Currently I'm hooked to Happy Times. It's by Joey Kidney. I think like lot of reels are there by him, Joey Kidney's. Yeah. So it was by his reels that I went on to his podcast, and his podcast feels so real and it feels so connecting, because he talks about relationship, he talks about friendship, heartbreaks, and these are some things that you don't generally get to talk with a lot of people. But he is someone who he tells you this side and this side as well. I mean, he talks about both the side, and he gives you a very like rational way to this thing. So really love his podcast. Coming to music, I really love Bollywood music. I mean, I am hooked to Bollywood. I don't really like listen to Hollywood because it just doesn't give me that feels. I mean, if I am sad, I just want to listen to like Kun Faya Kun or like A.R. Rahman's songs. I mean, I'm listening to KK's obviously. I mean, this playlist of KK, and A.R. Rahman's songs is always going on in the background. Either his Hindi songs or even Tamil songs. I mean, really love his songs. So music is sorted if you're like listening to A.R. Rahman. Then movies. Is interesting because I don't generally watch a lot of movies, but these days I just want to like not just books, but I want to like watch movies and series as well. Movies, I would say, oh my god, it's very difficult.
Okay. Okay. One or two maybe, if you feel comfortable. Whatever comes to your mind at this moment.
At this moment, let's see. I would say this Jayesh by Zordar, that movie was really nice.
I just watched it 2 days back.
I really love that movie. I mean, I was sick a couple of days ago and I was watching this movie. Really, like, it's very different and I really love his acting. I mean, people might call it overacting a little bit, but I really love it.
I enjoy it.
Yeah, it's really like raw. Like he is into that character. Like
you don't feel like he's Ranbir.
Yeah,
he's Ranbir.
like he is not acting. He is Jayesh Bhai, or he is the other character he is playing. So I really love that movie. Series, if I would want to recommend is Panchayat. I watched the season 2. I mean, I finished it in a day.
The ending.
Oh my god, I cried like a baby.
And that was shocking. I mean, the ending was out of nowhere. No one expected it.
Exactly. And I think it was not necessary also.
It was not necessary. Exactly. And I was like, what? I did not sign up for this. Right now I'm having goosebumps. Just thinking about it.
I was watching that last episode at I think 1 o'clock at night because I started it in the morning and I was just binge watching it. I'm like, what is this? This is not how you end the series, and I'm going to sleep and I don't think I will sleep.
I mean, no spoilers here, but when that character was introduced, it was just in a casual way. No one expected it to turn it into something else.
Yeah, but I kind of have a feeling that when he was leaving, like the way they shot,
you got that inkling.
Yeah, like the way they shot was like, okay, I don't think I might see this person again. So I just had that feeling, but it was a surprise, and I'm like, okay, there is another episode. I just checked, but there isn't. I mean, that was the final episode. So that was with web series, and last with books, obviously.
Yeah.
I would say Becoming, because I'm reading Becoming by Michelle Obama, and I really love her journey. It's really inspiring, because we see that we think that people have figured out everything in their life. Obviously, people who have like reached such great heights, we think that okay, they have planned every phase of their life, but when you actually read about it, they are as clueless as you are right now. I mean, she left her lawyer work, she left her full-time work, and she joined this NGO to just make a difference in the world, and that is really fascinating. And I have just completed half of the book. Other half I'm still reading it. I was just picking up in the morning, but it's really nice book. I mean, it's a thick book, but if you get through it, it's really nice.
Okay, that's the only one recommendation.
I would say if you want more book recommendation, then subscribe to my channel.
And follow her on Instagram as well. But that would have been
shameless promotion over here.
No. Acha. What else? But this was fun, the recommendation part.
Yeah, I really love recommendation. I mean, this Chalchitra Talks, I mean, their whole channel is based on recommendation.
I have been following Chalchitra Talks since when they were they had 4,000 or 3,000 subscribers.
Same.
When they used to recommend movies, Vaibhav used to recommend movies, the list of and I even gave them shout out 2 or 3 times. Because I was like, these guys need more recognition.
I think they're very underrated,
and I'm so glad but now they've got the recognition. Because of the celebrities they are
calling on.
The guest appearances. Which is great. Acha, I just realized that you've studied in Mysore, right?
Yeah.
And you belong to Karnataka.
Yeah.
And now you're in Mumbai. How many languages do you know? Or how many languages can you speak?
I can speak 3 languages. So I studied Hindi as third language, and it was introduced to us in 5th standard. So in 5th standard I was studying IE of Hindi, but before that I knew Hindi because we would like watch Bollywood movies and all. I mean, that is one inspiration and one way to actually learn Hindi. But writing wise, I started from 5th grade and I had it till like 12th grade.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's really helpful to recognize the numbers, bus numbers over here in Mumbai because I studied Hindi.
Hindi, but
Yeah.
I can't you know, write or recognize Hindi numbers.
Oh, you didn't study Hindi as such?
I did, but I forgot
Oh,
the
you
number in
forgot.
the digits. Yeah, I don't. That's embarrassing, but I don't.
Yeah.
I know half of it. Half of it I don't know. The
Last
Varnmala,
May it will
I
go.
don't remember. Nah, I
Yeah.
don't remember it, which is embarrassing. I shouldn't be proud of it, nor I am. But I need to relearn it.
That is why sometimes I think there was this one phase that I wanted to read Hindi books. So I picked up some poetry and everything, but still I mean I could read it, but I couldn't understand what the meaning of that word is. So in the end I just quit that and I'm like, okay, English is better, let's just stick to English for now.
And can you understand Marathi now that you've been living for 6 months in Mumbai?
I don't understand Marathi as such, but I think it's kind of relatively similar to Hindi. I mean, the few words are like similar. So if there are few words that's like derived from Hindi, I can like easily pick that up, but I really can't like talk Marathi.
Okay.
I can like tell Jeevan Chala and all, like I had food and everything, but nothing more than that. Yeah.
Okay. It's been an hour. Acha, finishing last. Let's just end it up, wrap it up. The last question that I have for you is, what would you suggest, or you've already given tips now for beginners, but why should they read books? You know, anyone who's watching, who's new on this channel, what would you, or any of your friends, what would you say to them so that they pick or read book or start reading books?
Yeah.
How has it changed your life, or how would it change other people's lives?
I think you would always see that people generally say, okay, put reading in your habit, but they don't say why. Because one thing is that it will give you a clear mindset, and it's not just knowing about the characters or anything, it's more about knowing yourself. Reading is a process, and through that you are getting to know yourself more. You are getting to know what kind of things you actually would like, how you are as a person, because when you see that character you will relate to that character. You may not relate to like most of the qualities, but okay, this is one quality that I also have. And sometimes reading is just like, it's just a friend. Like books are your friends. I mean, you I think sometimes
you
it's
laugh
really
with them, you cry with them.
Yeah, like it's like they don't ask for anything, they just ask for you to read it. And reading has also helped me to listen carefully, because it's just one way communication over there and you are reading it, right? And that has helped me to like listen more than rather speak more. Obviously I would speak less from the beginning, but I think listening is really important when you are either put up in like a corporate world. Before you even speak, you have to like listen carefully, you have to comprehend what they're actually telling you. So for that I think reading has like really come a long way for that. And I think reading, it's just a buddy you can just share, and you can just carry it. I mean, one really good thing about books is that you can carry it like your own baby, and you can go around the place. And reading actually helps you in like a lot of ways. It makes you smart if you are like into books that are like non-fiction, or if you are into history books. You are just increasing your knowledge, and you may know it or not, it will have a lot of effect on your brain in the long run. Like you will not get that benefits like, okay, I'll read 2 pages today and I want the benefits right now. You won't get it. You will slowly realize that. Maybe after reading few books you will realize that, and you will start enjoying that phase. So we are just trying to help you and trying to welcome you on the other side of this thing.
Yeah. That was great. Actually, good, genuine, honest. I mean, it was so fun, and it was great speaking with you. This conversation whole, I don't know how time passed. It just flew away.
Exactly.
Honestly, yeah, I would love to catch up again with you.
Yeah.
And that's it for this video. And we'll see you again. Yes, we will see you again sometime later. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye bye. So that was the outro, but I honestly enjoyed it.